Hi, my name is Amadeo Malmis, first year student of Science Marine Engineering, taking the summer class about course of life of Rizal. So for the week to assessment point oh 01, it's about the life of Rizal's tackle about the industrial revolutions. So as we know, the industrial revolutions began in the Great Britain in the mid to late 17th centuries, when innovation of lead of goods through being produced into a large quantities due to machine manufacturing. So, what are the effects of industrial revolutions? So, the Industrial Revolution brought about sweeping changes in economic and social organization. These changes included a more extensive dissemination of riches and expanded universal exchange. Inventor on that time create a new machine that increased production that used in machine manufacturing, used in factories. This meant that products were cheaper to make and also cheaper to buy. Encouraged migration as people searched for improved economic advancement in medicine and public hygiene. This include farmers and villagers to move on town to find some work on the factories because of low wages of the farmer by the late 17th centuries. Cities grew larger, but they were often dirty, crowded, and unhealthy. The process of industrialization continues around the world as those struggles against many of its negative effects, such as industrial pollutions and urban crowding. But in the present modernization, as far as I know, technology is upgrading to find a way to protect and prevent more pollutions. So now we discuss about the effect. What are the effects of industrial revolutions? Let's go to a second task. Why is it called as a struggle of nationalisms in the 19th century? Why is it? So, nationalisms is a way of thinking that says that some of group of humans, such as ethnic groups, should be free to rule themselves. Rule themselves. The other definition of nationalism is the identification with one's own nation and support for its interests, especially to the exclusions or detriment of the interests of other nations. From the journal titled Nationals in Historical Perspectives state, nationalism, both as an ideology and as a dynamic force, burst on the world stage 2 centuries ago and continues to have a forceful impact in our time. In the 19th century, when two world wars happened in the same century, and the great cause of the oppositions is the nationalisms. Countries being greedy and not negotiating. The use of nationalisms gave nations false hope and aggressive to win the war. Even if they weren't able to win a war due to their strength and understanding of plans and leaders, this leads to imperialism. So, I suggest that the leader of the world and individual people need to understand the values of life. The leader will judge not for the power, but for the peace, In our present day, nationalisms in other places is the great cause of conflict to some individual people and bullying, used for bullying, racism, like some Western people criticize Eastern people. And cultures, traditions, beliefs that we need to understand also that their beliefs we need to respect their beliefs, and they also respect our beliefs. That's it. So, now we already discussed why it's called struggle of nationalisms in the 19th century. So let's go down to that third task. The question of this is, what is the view of Rizal regarding the advancement of science? So the view of Jose Rizal, as we know, he graduated in ophthalmology. So he is a physician. It's all about science. So Rizal held the idea that science is the key to progress and national liberation. That science is more than the rote memorizations and uncritical acceptance of facts, but a way of thinking above anything else. The inadequate teaching tradition is still with us. Science is taught as mere facts and not as way to arrive at those facts. So, from the view of results about the advancement of science, that the science is the key of progress and national liberation, so I agree of that. Because I read an article and I watch videos in YouTube's that those countries that have an advancement in science, like America, Europe, or even in China, even in Asian like Japan, also in Philippines, we already work on advancement of science. So there's a big impact in society. It provide a good quality of living. Also, it helps in agricultural innovations through advancements of science. Also, in different mechanism of the country. So that's it for today's sir. Thank you.